Good morning, YouTube and friends. Today I was out in the bush, a short trip before my work, maybe just a couple of hours, and I have thinking about one thing. And today I want to talk about fixed blade vs outdoor folding knives. And this is just from my point of view and my experience. Sometimes when I am out in the bush I use my folder a lot more than I use my fixed blade. If you have seen some of my video, I often use my fixed blade, my Gerber, but one of the reasons I do that also is because sometimes I want to show that you can do very small tasks with a pretty big fixed blade knife. But as you probably know, I am not always filming when I am out in the woods and fishing, that kind of stuff. And I have noticed that I use my folding knife a lot more than I use my fixed blade. But I can't not say that you could replace the fixed blade with any folding knife. You must look at the special kind of folding knife, and I'm going to show you my outdoor folding knife. And this knife is just nothing else but an outdoor folding knife. And that knife is an Gerber Gator, pretty big knife. We can compare it to a normal size fixed blade survival knife or outdoor knife, or what you want to call it. There is no big difference. So there are things you can do with the folder, of course, like chopping, but a knife like this is not good to chop with either, so that doesn't matter. You can chop a little bit small branches, but this knife is too short for that. You must have around 25 centimeters, I guess, to chop really correctly. So now, when we have take away that chopping thing, I have noticed that I don't use my fixed blade so much, because I can almost do everything in the woods with this. I can even baton a little bit. I'm going to show you my technique of batoning with the folding knife later, and cut down some pretty big trees and that kind of stuff. There are also good folders for the bush that are smaller, like a Victorinox. This is a Victorinox by Mauser, but this cannot replace a fixed blade. It's too small for that and too weak. And a folding knife in this size can be which brand you prefer. That doesn't matter. This is a buck. This is the smallest knife. I don't think I should replace this with replace the fixed blade with this either. But it is a good backup or complement, or what you want to call it. So I'm going to put some more wood on my fire, and then I come back and I'm going to show you some baton technique and cutting down pretty big trees with an outdoor folding knife. Okay, to cut down a tree like this, it is 2 inches. Would be very nice if you had a saw, an axe or a Bowie knife to chop it down. As I said earlier, you can't chop very well with the normal size fixed blade. It don't feel very right. Okay. But like with a fixed blade, as with a big folder, you can cut it down. Try to bend it. So you have stress on it. And like a beaver, dig in, bend it, like you see, that took some kind of strength. It is not very easy to, you must push really hard, but the important thing is that the knife will take that abuse, because I press very hard down. You don't want that folder to break. I don't know what could happen. Could it break, like flip up like this? That's why I mean that you must have a really strong folder for outdoor use. And I think this cut was pretty okay. I kind of put stress on the tree and dig in like a beaver, shoo it in. Do you say so? Shoo it in. It have been exactly the same if I have done it with this. That was how to cut down a pretty big tree with a folding knife. Under extreme condition, of course, because a saw is better. Okay, you see that my fire is already going, but let's say that you should start a fire. And like in Sweden now, today is a little bit colder, but 2 days ago when I was out, it was plus Celsius and a lot of snow in the woods. And then you know what's happened. Then all of the woods, branches and everything get totally soaked. The worst condition ever to build a fire, in my opinion. Totally soaked. Snow lying on the branches, and it's almost impossible to do a fire if you don't get inside the woods. And to get inside the woods, you want to split it, of course. And now we only have a folder. How should we do that? There are 2 techniques. And one is, I think, too dangerous. You can take your blade, open it up, put it here, and smack. But then you have your hand here, and then ugly thing can happen. But it works. but be careful. That's one way to split with the folding knife, because I have done this in an old video with this knife. I remember now, because when you open the folder like this, that lock mechanism, or what you should call it, don't take any abuse or stress. It's just the open blade. But what I mostly do when I split with the folding knife is that I use my hand as a club. I must re-angle the camera a little bit. A totally wet stick, I want to come into the dry part. I put it there. Now I sound like an instructor again, but maybe I can be that to younger kids, because when I was 15 I don't have a clue about this. That's the fact. And you can have strong gloves on you, so you don't hurt yourself. This is a clip point blade. This is not the best for this technique. A drop point. This have what you call it, a false edge. It can hurt a little bit. Cut it down. Now I have a little dry one. I have a knot there, so it kind of hurts in your hand if you don't have a thick glove. Oi. Take a better one. So, then you have small dry parts you can cut up, or like, I don't gonna cut myself in the knee, cut up for like curls. Putting these small sticks on the fire. It's gonna burn. And for doing feather sticks and that kind of funny stuff you can do in your camp, you also can do with a folding knife, because those knives have the same angle, most of them, I think they have, or similar, as a fixed blade survival knife or outdoor knife. And when I'm talking about angles on the knife, I'm going to tell you how I have forgot that. On both my knife, almost every knife I buy, I re-angled them. It's strange that I don't have talked about that before. I take away that splitting edge, that's strong, and make it a little bit like so. Not too much, because then you can chip the edge, but a little, so you can cut better. I have done it on this and this, not on the back. Okay, we can also do feather sticks. I'm not a professional on feather sticks, so it get what it's get. It's gonna burn. for some reason today I doing pretty good work. I must have sleep good tonight. I have a good sleep because feather sticks is not my cup of tea. I'm not good at it. But I guess that was okay. With the simple folding knife. Put that on the fire. Okay, I'm going to round off this video. Do you say round off in English? By saying that, so nobody gets angry at me and think I am a besserwisser or what you call it. That I don't say that you should switch out your fixed blade to a big outdoor folding knife. I only say that there are times that you don't maybe want to carry a big fixed blade. You can be around a lot of people in popular fishing places and popular hiking trails and that kind of stuff, that you don't want to scare the shit out of people with a big blade. Then you can have a blade like this in your pocket and still do most of the task. When I am out fishing, not in the bush, we have good fish water around my town. I want to 9 times of 10 I have this in my pocket. So I have a pretty good knife to take care of the fish and that kind of stuff doing. It's not in the city, it's around the houses and a small village. And if you still want to carry a pretty good big knife, you can carry a outdoor folding knife. Now I don't think I have anything more to say about that, like Forrest Gump say. That's all I have to say about that. I'm gonna just say before I go home that I have not used one bad word today. I can behave if I like. I have not said that F word or anything like it. No cursing and that kind of stuff. So that's going to be my path for the future. Behave like a normal person, so young kids can watch my video. Okay, that was all for me today. Out.